you guys can go back and look at the recording. Let's see. All right. So we're still working with log and exponential. Sorry. So in the first section, it says solving exponential equations. So we're going to solve for x and we're going to round to the nearest hundredth. So the nearest hundredth is 2 decimal places. Okay. Let me go ahead and take out my calculator. Ready? So in order for us to solve for x, we need to rewrite this in log form. But if you notice, the base is e, which is the opposite of your natural log. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. So instead of writing it as log base e of 42 equals x, whenever you use the base as e, you just use ln of 42 equals x. Okay, you can go ahead and put that in your calculator. So ln of 42, and that gives me 3.74 equals x. And that's it. So let's go ahead and try the next one. So on the next one, we have this 11 here with the 2. So you cannot change it to log form just yet. We need to get rid of the 11 first. So since it's being multiplied with the 2 to the 4x, we need to do the opposite and divide. This cancels. We get 2 to the power of 4x equals, and then in our calculators, we do 42 divided by 11, and that gives us 3.81, and that number actually keeps repeating, okay? And then once we get the 2 to the 4x by itself, now we can write it in log form. So we write it as log, your base is 2 of 3.81, repeated, equals your exponent, so 4x. So then I'm going to put just this part in my calculator. So we're going to do log base 2 of 3.81. And that gives us 1.93 equals 4x. And then our last step to solve for x is to divide both sides by 4. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. And that gives us 0.48. And we're rounding to the nearest hundredth, so that is 2 decimal places. All right, the next one, it's 518 e to the x power equals 74. So we're going to go ahead and solve for e. So our first step is to divide both sides by 518. So we need to get rid of the number that's there with the e to the x power. So that cancels and we get e to the x power equals, I'm going to go ahead and divide 74 by 518. And that gives me 0.14. And then we rewrite this in log form. So remember, you don't have to write log, you write the natural log. That means that your base is e. You don't have to write the e, it's understood. And then a 0.14 equals your exponent. My exponent here is x. So then when I put this in my calculator, all I have to do is put ln of 0.14. And that gives me x equals negative 1.9, and then the 4 is going to end up rounding up to a 5. And that's it. All right, the next section, log equation. So we have first degree. They want us to solve for the exact value of x. So we're going to have to do 2 things that we did in the previous lesson. We need to condense the log. So we need to shrink this into 1 log. So this is log base 7. This is log base 7. So we're only going to write log base 7 once. Okay. This one has 8x. So I'm going to write 8x. And then remember the plus sign means multiplication. So times. This 2 here needs to go as an exponent for 8. So times 8 squared. And all of this is equal to 2. Okay. Now, before I change this into exponential form to solve for x, I need to simplify this. So log base 7, 8 times 8 squared is going to give me 8 to the third power, which would be 8. It'll be 512. X equals 2. All right, then next we are going to go ahead and change this into exponential form. So this is my base, it'll be 7. This is my exponent to the second power equals 512x. Okay, then we put in our calculators, 7 squared, that gives us 49 equals x. Oh, wait, sorry, 512x. And then our last step to solve for x is to divide both sides by the 512 in order for us to get the x by itself. Okay, so these cancel out, and I'm going to put in my calculators, 49 divided by 512, and that gives me 0.0. It says 95, so then that means that if we're rounding to the nearest tenth, it's going to make this 0 round up to a 1. Okay, because the 9 is going to end up going up to a 10. All right, the next one. So here it's log base 4 of 2x minus 3 log base 4 of 9. So like we did in the other problem, we're going to condense it. They both have a log base 4, so we're going to write log base 4. And then this first part has a 2x, and then it's subtracting. So that means it's division, and this is going to go on the bottom. So this 3 is going to go as an exponent for 9. So it'll be 9 to the third power. And then this is equal to 0. Okay, so once we do that, I'm going to go ahead and put 9 to the third power in my calculator. And that gives me log base 4 of 2x over 729. This is equal to 0. Okay, now I'm ready to rewrite in exponential form. So the 4 is my base, that's what goes first. Then this is my exponent, so 4 to the 0 power equals, and it's equal to the 2x over 729. Okay, so 4 to the 0 power is just going to be 1. Remember, any number to the 0 power is 1. Equals 2x divided by 729. So next we are going to get rid of the 729 by multiplying it on both sides. Okay, so 729 times 1 gives us 729 equals, and then it's equal to 2x. Okay, our last step is to divide both sides by 2. So 729 divided by 2 is going to give us 364.5, and that's what's equal to x. All right, the next one. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to condense it. So we have log base 6 and log base 6. So we're going to combine it into 1. And we have, let me zoom in. Log base 6. And then I'm going to have an 8x. And then on the bottom, since it says minus, that means we're going to have division. And then this 3 in front of the log is going to go as an exponent. So it'll be 3 to the third power equals 0. Okay. Now, 3 times 3 times 3 is 3 to the third power. That gives us 27 equals 0. So now we're ready to rewrite this in exponential form. So it's going to be 6 to the 0 power equals 8x over 27. And remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay, we're still trying to solve for x, so we're first going to get rid of the 27 in the denominator by multiplying both sides by 27. So we get 27 equals 8x, because these cancel out. And then the last step is to solve for x by dividing by 8. So we put that in our calculator. 27 divided by 8. Remember, we're rounding to the nearest hundredth, which would be 2 decimal places. So it would be 3.38 equals x. Okay. Is that it? That's it. All right. So that's it for today. You guys can go ahead and get a head start on your Delta math. But I will stay on here in case you guys have any questions or you guys need any help with anything. But that's it for today. We'll see you guys. Bye.
Thank you, Miss. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you. Bye.